Hi. Moving to a new country and not being able to express yourself freely can hinder communication. I know this, right? Because I've been there before. But today I speak German more confidently. So today, that's why I want to show you a few tips and tricks and strategies on how to learn and speak German, in sometimes fun and effective way. So come along with me. Before we move on to the tips and strategies and tricks that you can use to learn the German language, I'd like to talk about two things: immersion and structure. Now, what is immersion? Immersion is, by research, one of the best ways to learn a new language. This is you trying to be in the environment of the language you're trying to learn. This is how children learn. And also for adults, when you surround yourself with this language that you're trying to learn, it helps you to learn better. That's why it's not exactly easy when you're trying to learn a new language in your home country, because you're not forced to use the language in your day-to-day activities. However, it's not impossible. These days, with the use of technology, you can learn a new language just on your phone or by attending online classes. Now let's talk about structure. What I mean by structure is having a structure, being in a structured environment where you're in a classroom where you have to have conversations in the language you're trying to learn, or having a structure by yourself where you create a time that you learn this language every day. So that being said, let's talk about the tips. If you're in a structured environment, which is a good thing, you're able to then speak with your friends and all, but that's just for a few hours in the day. That's even for a few hours in the week. It's just all about when you're in the class, and that's all. Some other things you can try to do is by watching fun series. A fun series I like to watch is on Deutsche Welle, which is Nichols Weg. Nichols Weg is the story of a young man who just recently moved to Germany and is trying to find his way through Germany. If you go to Deutsche Welle, that is DW website, which I'll link in the description box, you would find his story. I'll link the link to his exact story there. And there are also other series on Deutsche Welle where you can learn. Some of the series also have different levels: intermediate level, beginner level, professional level, or whatever level you're in, you can always find it there. Also, there are other fun series on Netflix as well. For instance, there is Kaiserin. One helpful tip when you're trying to watch series, for instance, the Kaiserin on Netflix, is trying to write down the sentences as you hear them. But before going to writing down, you can translate this series. For instance, you can try to listen in the language they're speaking, which is Deutsch, which is German. Listen in that language, and also, let your eyes go to the translation. Of course, for you to understand, you may want to look out for the translation, right? Then you try to watch it again without a translation this time, but make sure to turn on your captioning so that you can see what they are saying and you know what word they are speaking. Because just as we have in English, some words sound alike, but they're not exactly the same and they mean totally different things, right? So you know exactly what they're saying and how they're saying it as well. That definitely helps. Then if you keep watching the series over and over again, you definitely understand what they're saying. So these are fun ways to also, practice your listening, your reading skills at the same time. When you're done, try to write down a few sentences that they are saying. If you find something interesting, you can pause the movie and then try to write it down. That also helps your writing. I'd like to say that you should also try to think in Deutsch, because if you think in Deutsch, it might help your speaking. And you find out that you unconsciously do this when you're trying to practice your sentences, and that takes me to speaking. Here are some few tips when it comes to speaking. The first thing I'm going to say about speaking is speak. Speak, no matter what. Whatever it is that you learn, try to speak it out as much as possible. And when you're speaking, don't just speak to yourself, speak it out loud. Speak, speak, speak. Speak with as much people as possible. Speak with children, speak with your neighbors. When you're in a class or within the four walls of a classroom setting, and you have someone who understand the same language as you, maybe your mother tongue, don't speak your mother tongue with them, okay? Speak the language that you're trying to learn. So if you're in a German class, speak German with your friends, even if they understand English. Speak loudly. When you go out to the supermarket or you go out somewhere, instead of trying to speak an alternative language, try to speak German. This is going to help you. Speak out loud. If you're trying to speak to yourself or just practicing it in your head, you'll find out that when you need to use the language, there are probably a few mistakes. Now, don't let this deter you. When you make a mistake, correct yourself. You know, talking about failing forward. Definitely, you might make a few mistakes, but when you make a mistake, correct yourself. However, try to speak as much as possible. Another tip that can help with your speaking is attending conversation classes. Going to conversation classes. In Germany, there are a few conversation classes in libraries, especially. So, what you can do is look for the library closest to you and ask them, find out about the conversation classes. Now, what's a conversation class? It's a classroom setting where there's a teacher and there are, should I say students? There are people from all walks of life at different levels of German who come to just have conversations. Now, there's always a teacher in the class to guide the conversation. And you could talk about politics. There's always a subject or a theme or a topic to talk about. Now, this helps both your speaking and your hearing at the same time. When you go to this classes, make sure to hold a paper and a pen so that you can jot things down. We talked about the booklet. Make sure to write some words you have learned in your booklet and also try to go over and over and over these words again. When you hear certain words being pronounced, try as much as possible to pronounce or to practice those words exactly as you have heard them and practice saying them loudly. This helps you to speak exactly what you have heard with the proper pronunciation. When it comes to listening as well, you can try to listen to German podcasts. I'll try to look for some examples of German podcasts you can listen to, and I'll put their links in the description box. However, you can also listen to news. An example of news that you can listen to daily is Tagesschau. I'll put the link in the description box as well. Now, with Tagesschau, there is also a slower paced version of the daily news that you can listen to. So you don't have a problem when it comes to the normal news and it's rapid. You don't have a problem trying to understand. There are slower versions of the news that can help you easily comprehend in whatever level of German that you are. This helps you to understand the words better and to have a better understanding of what the information actually being shared is about. Now, let's talk about the German grammar. When it comes to the German grammar, it's such a big elephant in the room. However, there are some resources that can help you to practice your grammar. And an example of such a great resource is the Internet Archive. The Internet Archive is such a great repository of resources where you can learn whatever level you're in, and then you can try to practice your grammar in whatever level that you're in. Goethe Institute. Now, Goethe Institute is an institute where you can learn German, and they're in different countries in the world. You can also go to their website to try to practice some exercises on this website. You can also download these exercises and even have them printed out if you're more comfortable with that to practice your German grammar. Now, I'd like to say this, that if you're in Nigeria and you're trying to learn German, there are, of course, different schools where you can learn German. However, I'm going to recommend to you Goethe Institute. Goethe Institute offers German classes to different places, and even though you learn German in other schools or other places, most of the schools refer you actually to Goethe. They have physical as well as online classes, and the certificate is highly recognized all over the world for German. I'm going to link their website in the description box where you can find out any other detail you may want to find out about Goethe on there. A final tip on grammar that I have found out myself. When it comes to learning grammar, depending on the topic or the subject you're trying to deal with, I would suggest that you find out more about that subject on your own. This is what I mean. Try to find out more about the subject by yourself in your own language. When you understand or grasp in the language that you're most comfortable with, that helps you to understand or to move on in this topic. And so it's not all confusing to you. I'll give you an example. When it comes to dative, accusative, and nominative, it's such a big thing when it comes to when it comes to learning the German language. However, this is also there in the English language, right? So all you need to do is read about it, learn more about it, and you probably learned this in school as a child when you were trying to learn English in primary school. However, we have long forgotten about that, and we have all we did was learn more and build on whatever it is that we had as children. It'd be a bit difficult to understand this subject. However, when a new subject comes to you and you're finding it difficult to understand or comprehend, I'd advise that you take a pause, try to find out about it, grasp the concept in language that you're comfortable with, in this instance English, and then go back to the topic with that knowledge. That helps you to further understand the topic in grammar. So let me know in the comment section, what are some of the helpful tips that you used for learning German. Also, you can ask me questions in the comment section and let me know if you'd like me to speak more German or teach you some German on this channel. Okay, thank you for watching. Till next time, bis nächste Mal. Cheers.